In the past, we've brought you stories of Ohio farmers. But what about their crops? Well, they've got their own story to tell.
Drive through the state and you'll see it. It's growing in nearly all of Ohio's 88 counties. Over 3 million acres of it. Brought north by Native Americans over 1,000 years ago, corn is now Ohio's second most valuable crop because it's a crop with many uses. It's also a crop with a story to tell. Of course, sometimes the story can be a short one, depending on the type of corn. Sweet corn is what the Jordan family in New Paris harvests in the wee hours of the morning before the hot summer sun rises. Customers buy it to eat fresh that same day, and that's where that story ends. Meanwhile, in northeast Ohio, the Humphrey family grows their corn to be popped. In a tradition dating back to 1892, the Humphreys popcorn is molded by one-of-a-kind machines into their beloved popcorn balls. But across the state, the Davis family grows a different kind of corn. In fact, it's the most common type of corn in the state, field corn. From this field in Delaware, the story gets a bit more complicated. Field corn is brought to processing centers like Cargill, where it can become any number of things. Corn oil to fry our French fries, cornstarch to thicken our pudding, or corn syrup to sweeten our candy. But the majority of it goes right back to farms like Shipley Farms as feed for cattle and poultry. Over the last several years, though, there's been a change. For the first time, corn is being used as something other than food. Those same processing centers that make food products are now making ethanol, a corn-based fuel for our cars. Farmers like the Purdy's in Woodstock have even begun making their own biofuel. And in Oberlin, Full Circle Fuels will modify your car to run on used corn oil, the same oil that fried those French fries.
We don't have to put biomass in the ground and cook it for a couple thousand years to be able to use it to make really interesting things. We can take biomass right now, like corn, and make it into products that were previously made from petroleum-based resources.
As we look towards the future, the parts of the corn kernel are going to become ever more important. You know, we're not going to view the kernel as its own entity. We're going to view the kernel as all these different pieces and parts to it. So we can extract them out. So we can use part of that corn kernel for human consumption, part of it for animal feed, part of it for ethanol, and hopefully part of it for bio-based products.
At the Ohio Bioproducts Innovation Center on the Ohio State campus, the possibilities for corn are endless.
One of the real reasons industry is very interested in bio-based products is that as they see the future, they know that there's a day when bio-based materials will be less expensive than oil. That's not necessarily the case right now. And so one of the things that we're doing is helping to prepare society for an inevitability when oil will become very expensive and we will continue to have more and more biomass or corn, bio-based products that will be able to substitute for petroleum.
The Ohio Bioproducts Innovation Center is a research center that's housed at The Ohio State University on the campus of the College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences. And I like to think of OBIC, as I'm going to refer to it, as kind of this bridge between two of our state's largest industries. So we've got agriculture and the polymer industry. Polymers are things like plastic, rubber, paints and coatings, adhesives. So two of our largest industries. So how can we find these technologies? Maybe they're hibernating in a researcher's lab somewhere, and how can we pull them out of those labs and commercialize them to help both industries and obviously the state of Ohio?
At Plastic Suppliers Incorporated in Columbus, OBIC's mission is a reality.
Traditionally, petroleum is used to make plastics, and the advantage of using corn to make plastic is actually price as well as an environmental concern to the people who are making it and using it. Petroleum nowadays, actually for the past several years, has been increasing in cost, and a lot of the plastics these days have actually taken a big hit because of that rise in cost. So it's making the use of corn and natural resources a lot more attractive.
Their plastic starts with a corn resin and is transformed into large rolls of plastic film, a versatile material used for everything from floral sleeves to windows and donut boxes to flexible food packaging.
The advantages in terms of the tail end of the life is that it can be composted completely and it leaves no type of toxic residue after it's composted. It is 100% biodegradable as well, and compared to petroleum-based plastics, which can take upwards of 500 years to completely disappear, this can take a matter of days and weeks depending on the thickness of the corn film.
And because it's biodegradable, the story of this corn comes full circle. These products can be composted at facilities like Price Farms Organics in Delaware, and the result is a powerful soil for growing.